Dear learners, welcome to the NIOS studio. In this video, we are going to talk about contemporary Indian art. After the decline of Mughal Empire and the end of classical and medieval art of India, contemporary art began with the British rule in India. Raja Ravi Verma, Avanindranath Tagore, Amrita Shergill, Rabindranath Tagore, and Jamini Roy were the pioneers of contemporary Indian art. These young artists were more exposed to the Western art movements. German Expressionism, Cubism, Fauvism, Dadaism, and Surrealism left great influence on these Indian painters. But at the same time, their struggle to retain Indian identity continued. A combination of Western technique and Indian spiritualism became the essence of Indian art. Along with the Western methods and materials, they also tried to use the Far Eastern method of painting. Lot of experiments were done. Printmaking like woodcut, lithograph, etching, etc. Prados Dasgupta Pran Krishnapal Nirod Majumdar, Paritosh Sen, and others of Calcutta group held the first exhibition in 1943. And the Progressive Artist Group of Bombay exhibited the paintings of F. N. Souza, M. F. Hussain, K. H. Ara, and others in 1947. While some artists were experimenting with Western style, others like Binod Bihari Mukherjee, Ramkinkar Beige, Shailas Mukherjee, showed inclination towards Japanese art and folk art. Two of Bengal artists, Devi Prasad Rai Chaudhuri and Saroda Ukil played fundamental roles in introducing modern art movement in northern and southern part of India. K.C. S. Panikar and Srinivasalu students of D.P. Rai Chaudhuri made their mark in contemporary art, while Sarada Ukil established an art school in Delhi. The objectives of this study is to help the learner to be able to describe the contribution of major art movement of India and state the name of the artists who played important role in the development of contemporary Indian art. It will also help the student to tell about the methods and materials the contemporary artists used. Learners will be able to identify the famous Indian painters of contemporary period, can describe in brief the enlisted contemporary arts and write in brief about the enlisted contemporary artists. Now, we will appreciate a work of art of a famous printmaker. The work is named as Whirlpool. Let us first know what is printmaking. Graphics or printmaking is very popular form of art which are being used by Western artists for many centuries. Many painters took interest in graphics from the end of 19th century CE. Etching, dry point, aquatint, intaglio, oleograph, etc. are used by many Indian artists. The main advantage of printmaking is to produce number of copies of the same painting. Raja Ravi Verma could popularize his paintings by printing many copies of his work in oleograph technique. Krishna Reddy is one of the most famous printmakers of that time. He was a student of Kala Bhavan, Vishwabharati, Shantiniketan. Whirlpool is one of the masterpieces of Krishna Reddy. It is done in intaglio process. This process is reverse of the relief method because the surface of the plate does not print as the ink being held only in the engraved furrows. The lines of design are incised in copper or zinc plate. Ink is used on it and then the surface is wiped clean with scraper. After laying a damp paper on it, print is taken by putting pressure in a machine. In Whirlpool, Reddy creates new forms from known objects and to take the form into abstraction. His main interest in the picture is to capture the force of nature. Everything is lost in the cosmic whirlpool. The images in the picture are non-representational, though some images like stars, flowers and clouds are not very clearly recognizable. His early experience of sculpturing helps him to understand the relief type intaglio effects in the prints, which is the main beauty of this work. Now, we will discuss a different kind of contemporary painting, that is mural. Binod Bihari Mukherjee was a student of Nandalal Bose. The famous Bengal school painter Binod Bihari loved nature and its beauty, and he based his paintings on that. He learned the art of landscaping from Japan. He used very simple and rational lines like the Japanese artists. These lines have a quality of calligraphy. Binod Bihari suffered from weak eyesight from his childhood and became totally blind in the later part of his life. Neither his poor eyesight in young age and blindness in later age could stop his creative urge. All through his life, he experimented with different mediums. In spite of his blindness, he created a huge mural at Kalabhavan, Shantiniketan. Medieval Saint is one of the murals which he painted on the wall of Hindi Bhavan in fresco buono technique. It is a method of wall painting in which powdered pigments, colors are mixed in water and are applied to wet, freshly laid lime plaster ground. In this method, the color becomes the part of the wall, so that the colors last long. Medieval Saints is a wall painting or mural depicting the saints of different religions of India. The composition is well planned to suit the size and shape of the walls. The huge and elongated forms of the human figures arranged with a river like flowing movement in perfect harmony and rhythm. The monument like quality of these figures remind us of sculptures on the Gothic church wall. The emphatic verticality of the composition is nicely balanced by smaller figures in horizontal continuity. The largeness of the figures express their spiritual greatness. The smaller figures represent the common people engaged in different activities of everyday life. After this, we will try to appreciate a famous artist from southern part of India. The name of the work is Words and Symbols. K.C.S. Panikkar could be termed as the most influential and pioneer in the development of contemporary art movement in the southern part of India. He was a student of D.P. Rai Chaudhuri of Bengal School in the Madras School of Art. He had to do many odd jobs as a telegraph operator and insurance agent before he could establish himself as an artist. His style went through many stages, from realistic to geometric. He was also a great teacher who inspired many painters from South and established the first artist village of India near Chennai named Cholamandalam The enlisted painting is a very famous one from his series Words and Symbols. It is very different type of experimental work in which space is covered with calligraphy. Panikkar used mathematical symbols, Arabic figures, Roman scripts and Malayalam scripts to create a design which looks like a horoscope. Tantric symbolic diagrams are also used. Colors play a nominal role in this painting. Our next painting is Landscape in Red by F. N. Souza. He was born in Goa and grew up in Mumbai. He was expelled from his school and joined J.J. School of Art. He was again expelled from J.J. School of Art in 1945. He was one of the young painters to form the Progressive Artists Group in 1947. Later, he left India and settled in London. Subsequently, he became one of the 5 top artists to represent them internationally. His lower middle class background and financial problems made him protest against society. He protested against all kinds of religious and social superstitions through his paintings. Like most of his contemporaries, Souza was also inspired by post-impressionist and German expressionist painters. Especially, he was greatly influenced by Picasso and Matisse. He discovered his own style by combining Indian temple sculpture forms with Western art. He was a painter with relentless experimentation in all forms of art. Souza had special love for landscape painting, along with religious and social themes. The painting Landscape in Red is a good example from his landscapes. It is an experimental cityscape. The artist tried to capture look of a city which is nothing but a concrete jungle. His cityscapes generally reflect the mysterious character of cities. The calligraphic use of lines are nicely arranged with colors. The colors and forms emerge independently in the composition. Red is the predominant color here, with few splashes of green here and there. No rule of perspective is followed. In spite of that, the depth of space is defined in the painting. Sousa created many types of works over a long working life. He is compared with Picasso by an European art critic for his work. So, let us know what we have learnt so far from this lesson. Indian contemporary art, which began with Raja Ravi Verma and Bengal school, continued to flourish in different metropolitan cities of India. Western influence became very clear on the young generation in spite of Bengal schools' attempt to revive classical tradition of Indian art. The young generation of 30s and 40s took inspiration either from the West or Far East to give a new meaning to Indian art. Some of these painters went to Western countries and ultimately settled there, and those stayed back were struggling to discover their identity. It is heartening that many of these painters not only found their identity, but also could establish themselves as internationally successful painters. Dear listeners, I hope you have understood a lot from the video. This video has explained about contemporary Indian art. For any kind of learning support, you can contact us at our helpline number 1800-180-9393. For more information, log on to www.nios.ac.in. Thank you.